My dad rented out like this huge suite for all my girlfriends to party all night at this hotel. And he was like, you guys can do whatever you want, but the one rule is no boys. Like, no boys allowed. And we're like, okay, of course, no boys. Like 30 seconds later, like every boy in town, like...
Hello and welcome to the Roast of Your Teenage Self podcast. I am your host, your roast-coming queen, Virginia High School League one-act play competition finalist and former high school student Alise Morales. And with us today, guys, we have very funny and talented comedian, actress, host of The Soup on E, and graduate of Albemarle High School. Please welcome Jade Catta-Preta.
Hi guys, I'm so happy to be here. I'm sad that I didn't bring my holographic vest from my show choir days.
Wow, you were a show choir girl. We haven't even gotten in show choir.
I know, I'm sorry. I thought I'd just jump right in. Like, you know, I had vests, so it was a whole thing.
So, Albemarle High School, public or private?
Public.
Public high school. But I also know, because you told me before we started recording, that you did homeschooling for the last year?
Yeah, last year. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to do the whole acting, dancing thing, and my parents were very supportive, and so I got to do a lot of local theater, and then I went to like summer camp in New York.
So it was a career move. It wasn't, because usually when I hear homeschool, I immediately am like, religious.
No, not even close. I wish it was like my parents just didn't want me around the devil kids. No, I knew what I wanted to do from really, really early age, and my parents were always really supportive. And I think I really clashed with my high school at the time. Like I was just figuring out that I like wanted to be on Broadway, and like got it in Charlottesville, Virginia. You know, like it was just that. And I only had like a few really, really close friends at the time, and so it was a good decision for me, I think.
So when you were in public school, were you doing show choir? Were you doing the plays?
Yeah, I was doing show choir. I did Damn Yankees. I was Lola. It was like the highlight of my high school theater career. But I was yearbook editor. I think one of the photos you have is like me like turned around is like from yearbook. Yeah, look at that. Look at when my butt still had elasticity. Look at that.
So this was it. You put this in the yearbook as yearbook editor.
I think we tried to. I don't know if it actually made it, but I remember this day we were like all taking photos of ourselves and the staff to be like sneakily put it in. You know, people always ask like, what was your superlative? And I'm like, I couldn't be yearbook editor and like be a superlative. That just felt like a little too.
You could slyly slip in maybe like one cute butt pic, but to give yourself best hair would be too much.
Too much. Look how low rider those pants are. Remember when pants were like not above your belly button?
Yeah. I'm going to say, are these boot cut?
Wow. I didn't even notice how high up they were. I was really preppy in high school, like, because I was in Virginia, you know, so like really preppy in high school, and then actually really preppy in college too. Like I would double up the collared shirts. Like I did that look.
Yeah, we have another picture that you sent where you're wearing suspenders and like a fedora moment going on.
This was actually a really big moment for me, dude, because it was Spirit Day, and I think it was like I was doing like a Janet Jackson thing, and you see how my boots are like pointy. The pants are way too short once again, but the boots being pointy was like a big deal. Like this is when Sex and the City first came out, and like wearing pointy heels was like, I remember walking through the hallways wearing those boots and just being like, I am such a badass. Like I did it. I'm doing it.
I feel like I still have such an affinity for like the clothing items that I bought when I was in high school that I was like, this is gonna change things for me. Like
it does though. It does. Like people really like one day of high school is like so many days of an adult life. So many things happen, you know, per one day. But yeah, like what a fucking nerd. Look at me.
It's so funny because so I grew up in Northern Virginia, and I swung the opposite way with my fashion. I was like a Hot Topic, like emo kid girl, and I felt like that was the two ways that you can exist in Virginia is like you're either North Face and Uggs.
Yeah. It's true. Or you work at Gadzooks. Like that's it.
Yes, or you're wearing a cape to school. Like that's the two.
It's funny because my best friend from high school, is the only, like I only have two friends that I'm still friends with now in real life. Kitty Lyon, she's actually like in the industry as well. She was like angel wings, like she just dressed so wildly. And she actually had a like Pepto-Bismol pink Cadillac that she drove around town. It was a really small town, so everybody knew her car. She was like so cool. Look how cool she was. Like, and I was like preppy, like I'm wearing a cross necklace. Like what?
Well, but honestly, really inspiring to have a preppy and a girl who wears angel wings going to concerts together and remaining friends.
Yeah, I also was like very big into nail polish arts and crafts. I don't know if you can really see, but I'm holding my Nokia cell phone, this is my first cell phone ever. And it's like I would do this thing where I would cover it in nail polish dots. It would take me like hours. Like I would do like hours.
Oh my God. I can't believe you just said that because I literally have a memory of sitting in my friend, this was when I was littler and I lived in LA until I was 12. I was like sitting in my friend Laura Jean's house and we were meticulously painting our Nokia cell phones with like whatever different nail polish she had, and then it chips off. Like
it does. Nail polish. I still have that Nokia cell phone cover. I like kept it. Like just a little cover, that would come off.
This was a thing at my high school. The Razr flip phone was really big. Do you remember that?
Of course. I missed that.
So it came in pink and silver. And at my school, if you were dating, I would have the pink one.
Right.
And if I was dating a boy who had the silver one, we would switch battery packs. So then when you were using your pink cell phone, it would have his silver battery pack. And it was like, watch out, world, I am taken.
See, like that, there's going to be so much stuff like that with our kids that we're not going to understand. Like, also, how lucky were we that we got to just be kids and not like online, like the stuff that we did and got away with, like I cannot believe it.
There are so many things that like, I'm just so glad that all of the videos that we made for our high school drama class, like do not exist online.
Oh, well, those I wish we had, but I'm talking more about like, like partying in the woods and like being naked and all that stuff. Like me and Kitty, we were pretty crazy. Like,
so that's a question I had for you because so you're going to college or you're going to high school in Charlottesville, which has a major university kind of at its center. So what's that like? Are you going to college parties? What's your relationship to the college?
Well, I was like a very horny kid anyway because I'm from Brazil originally, and I moved to Charlottesville, Virginia actually when I was 12. So I was like an immigrant. Like I didn't speak English, and so by the time I was in high school and I like could speak English, I was just like kind of a monster. We partied with like high school kids all the time. I saw Rocky Horror Picture Show way too early and became like way too over-sexual. Actually, you have a photo from the night we went to see Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like we were all dressed up as the characters. And then we went to a college party. We're like partying with our college friends. Like,
oh my God.
So we're like,
I was wondering, I was going to ask about the choker, but it makes sense.
I was like magenta. And we used to hang out at this like, literally like this crack house with these college students. We used to live there. And that's us just like partying with them.
If you were a teen theater kid and you didn't dress as magenta at least once, like, were you even really a theater kid?
Yeah, like, do you know all the words to Rocky Horror Picture Show and Rent, or you don't?
I remember the first time seeing both of those things, Rocky Horror Picture Show and Rent, and just being like, I am magenta, I am Maureen, this is what will guide me moving forward in my life.
Yeah. People still make fun of me, but I don't care. Like literally they were so formative to me. And I remember seeing Rent like in college the first time after I'd seen it so many times in high school and understanding so many of the parts that I didn't get.
It's so funny because I'm 16 doing like the whole La Vie Boheme like rap, having done none of the things.
Not knowing any of that. Like, yeah, me too. I'm like,
it's so funny how big Rent is as like a high school, or at least for me, like as a high school theater kid, how big Rent was when the themes are like have nothing to do with my suburban high school life at all.
We don't need to pay for anything. We've never met anyone with HIV. Like we're not on the streets, but like I craved being in New York so intensely, like all throughout high school. And getting to like go there and do these like camps. That's when I started to meet people that were like me, like I remember seeing a guy shimmy once and I was like, a guy shimmying? Like I found my heaven. Like meeting gay people for the first time. Like, there weren't any in our town. And so it was really important to me.
So let's talk about that decision. So what led to you? Did it come from you? Like, you went to your parents and were like, I would like to be homeschooled so that I can start to pursue.
Yeah, there was this big theater in our town called Live Arts, and they used to be like this tiny little theater, and now they're like this big, beautiful building in Charlottesville. They do these like major productions, and I started getting really involved with them in the summer, and then realized that I could like be in a play and make money, but it would be like impossible. Yeah, like it would be impossible to do it and be in school. And I was really miserable in school. I was like getting in arguments with teachers. Like, I'm kind of a know-it-all, even though I don't really know a lot. And so I would get in fights with teachers, and there was just some animosity of like, I wanted to leave. I didn't really want to be like partying in the woods all night. Like, I didn't want to really be like, I felt like a sheep, like basically. And I didn't want to just like get married and have kids. And that's like what a lot of my friends were like. And so like when I met Kitty and I became really close, and then this girl named Amanda and I got really close. We were like really the three that got out basically of Charlottesville.
With Charlottesville being a college town, I feel like it's probably really easy for someone to just stay in Charlottesville.
It's a great town. Like now I go back and I'm like, oh, I would live here. Like my sister's still there. A lot of my friends are still there, but it was just like oppressive to me at the time. I was like, I need to venture. Like I need to get out, My last year of high school was basically like online classes and tutors that I cheated with. And
so how did that work? Did you
responsible? Okay. Yeah, it was all online. And then I would have to like go places to take like major tests. Or, stuff like that. And then I remember when I graduated, like I didn't do the walk and everything with my class. It was like a rainy day, and my sister and I went to Albemarle High School, and she was like, Jade Catta-Preta, and like she gave me the what's it called? My God, the diploma.
The diploma.
And we opened it up, and my last name was spelled wrong, and we just started dying laughing. We were like on the floor, like they can't even get this right. Like we were freaking out.
Hello, everyone. Today's episode of the Roast of Your Teenage Self podcast is brought to you by Mint Mobile. If you're still using one of the big wireless providers this year, have you ever asked yourself what you're paying for? Between expensive retail stores, inflated prices, and hidden fees, you're being taken advantage of, hun, because they know you'll pay. Enter Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile provides the same premium network coverage you're used to, but at a fraction of the cost because everything is online. Mint Mobile saves on retail stores and overhead and then passes those savings on to you. Mint Mobile makes it easy to cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. Imagine it. Sounds crazy, but it's true. It can happen. It can happen for you. Every plan comes with unlimited nationwide talk and text. With Mint Mobile, you can stop paying for unlimited data that you'll never use. Choose between plans with 3, 8, or 12 gigabytes of 4G LTE. And you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan to keep your same phone number and your same contacts in case your crush from high school finally realizes what a mistake it was not to go to prom with you. They want to get in touch. They've seen you on Instagram. You're looking amazing. It's okay. You still have their number. They still have your number. It's all good with Mint Mobile. Ditch your old wireless bill and start saving with Mint Mobile. To get your new wireless phone for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/teenself. That's mintmobile.com/teenself. Cut your wireless bill down to $15 a month, honey, at mintmobile.com/teenself.
But that's Virginia for you.
I know, and what a testament to your time there. It's like
I fucking left. You don't even know who I am.
Yeah.
You had this conversation with your parents. Were they on board immediately? Like, okay, let's just get the
paperwork.
Yeah, they knew what I wanted to do. I was really driven to it. Like I had really, really good grades. I was very academic. Like, as you can tell, I have very high energy. I'm like, and so I just wanted to put that energy towards something that, I knew that I would want to be doing.
In taking the online classes as a teenager, what did you feel like you learned stuff, or was that just like a formality that you had to deal with so that you could do this?
Okay. I don't remember anything. Like when people talk about, I also kind of skipped the whole part of geography and history stuff because I was I was in Brazil at the time. So when I came over, like I didn't know, and I don't know a lot of like American history. Yeah, like I was never good at like taking tests, like under pressure. I was really bad. And I also like started to get to a point where I was like very feminist. I was like, these tests are made by white older men. Like they don't get me, you know?
That's correct. But it wasn't wrong.
Yeah, I just was like, I just want to shimmy in New York, like, and be like Carrie Bradshaw. Like, just let me be that.
So did you do the SAT and stuff, or were you like, I don't need to?
I did horribly on the SATs. I took them twice. I don't remember my score, but they were bad. I wanted to go to NYU so bad. Like I remember once we got arrested because we trespassed. We like broke into this building and my friend peed off the roof and we all got arrested. And then I was like, can I still go to NYU? Crying to the cops. They're like, yeah, what? Like you're just getting a ticket. Like it's not.
Yeah, we're not going to tell NYU. So where did you ultimately end up going?
I actually got into NYU, but not into CAP 21, the collaborative arts program of the 21st century, which no longer even exists. But I ended up going to Emerson, which was actually like life-changing and like why I am where I am today. And it's such a lesson of like everything happens for a reason. And like I remember falling to my knee. You know when you get the envelope and it's not like a big envelope, it's just like a letter. And I was like,
in that year, that like senior year that you're doing, where you're like basically waiting to go to school to learn theater. What are you doing in the meantime? Are you going up to New York and auditioning? You're doing these camps? Like what was your focus?
I was doing dance like full time almost. I went to Hofstra a lot for like their dance camp. I did the CAP 21 summer program 2 years in a row. And then I was working full time at Live Arts doing plays on there. I think at the time I was doing Summer Evening in Des Moines was a play that I did in the fall. And then in the spring, we did Bat Boy, which is still my favorite musical of all time. If you guys don't know it, please look it up. Yeah, I was just doing that. And then I became really good friends with like kind of all these gay dudes in town, like these rich, older gay dudes. So I was just like kind of partying and like doing theater, which was my dream, you know?
So that was my next question is what was your social life like? Like you have these two really close friends who clearly get you.
Yeah.
Who are the other people that you're hanging out with?
I kind of had the two girlfriends and we had kind of like an alternative group of friends that were like into music and like theater and like film. And then also my sister and I were really, really close. My sister's like a year and a half, not even younger than a year and a half, maybe, or I forget how far apart we are, but yeah, we were close. And so them, and then I hung out with my parents a lot and like I was bad, but nobody really knew it. And actually there's a picture there that you guys have. We went to an NERD concert. I was obsessed with Pharrell. Still am. He's a vampire. He doesn't age. And we drove in with a Cadillac and they like invited us backstage and we got to meet him and they were like, you want to come to a strip club? We're like, we're in high school.
So were you good at like getting away with the trouble that you were doing?
Yeah, but we got like busted a couple big times. Like first was the peeing off the roof one. And then when I turned 16, my sister and I were doing like one of those, you know, those like photo shoots where they can take the images and they own them. Like you pay $100 and then they use them as like cliff art or whatever. And we're doing one and he's like, and the next one's going to be at this hotel. We're like, oh my God, exciting. We get to the hotel. All my girlfriends are there. My dad rented out like this huge suite for all my girlfriends to party all night at this hotel. And he was like, you guys can do whatever you want. But the one rule is no boys, like no boys allowed. And we're like, okay, of course, no boys. Like 30 seconds later, like every boy in town like gets there. We're wasted. Like we're being teenagers. We're like running back and forth from the jacuzzi to the room. Like there's beer, like so bad. Of course the cops come and like put us in a line and one by one we're like having to do a breathalyzer. Like it was a nightmare. And then like everybody came to my parents' house and had to get picked up. And
I mean, it seems like your parents are very cool by many standards.
My parents were very cool, yeah.
Is that like a Brazilian thing? Is that like is it like more just acceptable to have a big party?
Yeah, I mean, I was in trouble, like obviously because of the boy thing, but like yeah, I think like it's not a big deal to drink in Brazil, and that's why there's like less DUIs, there's less like, you know, people killed in drinking and driving accidents. Like I think a lot of the reason why we drink in high school here, it's because like you can't. It's like the forbidden thing, you know? So
yeah, and me and my friends, when I think back to like the way we would drink in high school, because I started drinking maybe around like 11th grade, and we would drink like Bacardi 151, like the most like Everclear in like soup. Like it was like horrible.
I used to love Hard Rock. Wait, the lemonade thing. What was it called?
Remember?
Mike's Hard. And now I drink those gross, like, what are those, like, drinks that everybody drinks now? Claws. White Claws are basically Mike's Hard Lemonade, like, for grown-ups.
That's the real tea, is, like, there is no difference.
No difference. I've digressed back to my high school days. Now in this quarantine, I just drink White Claws by myself, and I'm like...
But we would drink, like, such stupid alcohol that was, like, not necessary. Like, we wouldn't just get, like, beers and have beers as kids. We would be like, we're gonna get the most intense, like, shoe polish liquor we possibly can, and then take shots of it until we puke on our parents' couch. Like, it was crazy, our relationship.
We were so bad. Yeah, I think we just wanted to, like, it was a different feeling, you know what I mean? Like, to feel kind of out of control was, like, exciting, you know? When you're a kid, you're, like, spinning around, and that's, like, your drug. And then in high school, it just gets real.
Okay. Were your parents, because your dad didn't want you to have boys at this party, so were your parents cool with you dating in high school? Did you have boyfriends? What's going on there?
I was disgusting. I have so many regrets. I was just very, like, first I started with, like, a really cute boyfriend that I lost my virginity to, and then broke up with him and dated an asshole who, like, didn't care about me at all forever, and who, like, I still probably have some leftover trauma from. And then I would just, like, date older guys who just wanted to have sex, and, like, and then I dated a guy who worked at Gadzooks. Actually, he texted me today. I thought that was kind of funny. He was, like, into Weezer and had, like, a piercing right here.
Did you meet him at the mall?
There was, like, a cool coffee shop in town, downtown, like, where all the cool, actually, my friend Kitty ended up working there, but, like, all the cool, like, alternative kids used to work there.
Oh, my God. There was this boy who when I moved from California to Virginia when I was in 7th grade, when I was 12. And there was this boy in my class named David who wore the, like, Hot Topic pants that were, like, the enormous pants that had chains on them and, like, big pockets. And he had my whole heart.
I loved him.
Is my heart in your pants right now, or... It's such a thing, but, like, it becomes such a thing. Like, you know how I'm wearing that little, like, floating cross? That was, like, the thing. And I remember we went to Claire's and I stole it. And I'd never stolen anything in my life. And I have, like, a weird thing with, like, telling a lie. Like, it's very difficult for me, which for acting is, like, the whole thing. But I stole it from that cross from Claire's, the one I'm wearing in that picture. And I felt so bad. I went back and I told the girl who was working there, and she was like, I don't care, just kidding. And I was like, oh, that's a lesson in life.
Oh my, that's so funny, because when I was in high school, there was, like, a rash of stealing from Claire's. Like all of them were stealing from Claire's, and we all got caught eventually, and I got caught at the Fair Oaks Mall. I was actually stealing from somewhere else. I had graduated from stealing from Claire's. I started stealing from elsewhere. Got picked up in Bath and Body Works.
Oh my God, we were so obsessed with Bath and Body Works. That's like another weird, like, Virginia thing.
Mm-hmm. I got picked up at Bath and Body Works by the mall police. It was so sad. Me and my friend, they, like, took us into the back. They called my dad. They made me pick him up. I had been stealing a bra that had padding in it. And so then my dad came and I had to, like, explain that to him, and they took a picture of me with, like, the thing that I stole, so it was, like, me in this bra. It was horrible.
I stuffed my bra a lot. Like, you can see even in the photos that you guys have, like, my boobs look humongous. Like, the one with Harry Connick Jr., look at, like, how much stuffed, that's a stuffed bra if I've ever fucking seen one.
It's so funny because when I was in high school too, I was so concerned with the fact that I didn't have big boobs, and it, like, really bothered me, and it, like, loomed large in my life as, like, a big issue that I was gonna have to deal with. And now it's like I could care less.
That's why I get so sad when kids, like, do anything that, like, really shapes their life in high school, because it's such a trivial time that, like, you should just enjoy and, like, build, you know, like, people that peak in high school, like, that's a down plunge.
Yes.
Ever since then, you know, like, it's so important to like teach your kids in high school to just like, this is a time that you're like, it's building blocks. Like it's just stepping stones. It's not who you're going to be for the rest of your life yet, you know?
It's such a delicate balance between like letting a high schooler like you, who clearly has like a passion for something, maybe make her own path and like make a different choice with how she's going to do things, while also reminding that high schooler like, this is not everything. You have so much growth to do. You're not like you still should, you know, go to Emerson and go to college and do all of this and have a high school life. You don't feel like you need to make every decision now.
Yeah, I miss college. I'm not going to lie. I loved college. Woo! Like high school was tough for me. I was really lost and like kind of trying to find my way. And then college, I was like, oh, this skin feels right. This is good.
Well, it seems like you were an independent person in general who really had a craft that you wanted to hone. So it's like, I imagine that last year when you were in homeschool felt like you were just in like a holding pattern.
Isn't it crazy to think about like how long it takes us to get to where we want to be? Like, let's just say this as the soup being like the peak of like what I've always wanted to do, right? My dream job. It's taken my entire life up to like, it's taken me 21 years, 21, to get to where I wanted to be. That's insane to think about. Like if high school me saw me now, like I would be so proud. It's good. I think it's good to take those little moments, you know? Am I getting cheesy? Sorry.
No, that's beautiful. I was going to say that if you were to talk to high school Jade, what would you tell her now?
I would say have less sex with gross dudes, like especially less dudes who have HPV. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would be like, it's coming. Just like keep working, you know? Like, I don't know. I wish I didn't have so much like resentment from my high school days. Like I wish I just would have enjoyed it more. But I just
but when you feel when you're in there and you feel so stuck, like I just remember feeling so trapped by the fact that I had to be there every day, and I wanted, you know, like you, it's like I wanted to be doing so much bigger stuff with my life, and I was like, now I gotta, like, why do I have to be in algebra? Why?
Also, like, why do people have to be in algebra? Like, I understand like being studious and like teaching people like routine and like hard work and stuff like that. But like, I feel like high school, there should be like financial classes that teach you how to like get a credit card and like work the credit card. Like you should learn how to cook for yourself. Like you should learn about like renting, you know, whatever. I just think that like the whole educational system in high school is like so misflopped.
Yes, I think that that's a huge part of also that like feeling of resentment that the high school experience leaves a lot of people in, because it's like when you're in elementary school and you're a little kid, it's kind of like you don't really have the tools to recognize when stuff's bullshit. But when you're in high school, now you're smarter and you're like, this makes no sense why we're doing it this way. Like
you still have to do it and do well at it. So it's like, it's difficult, you know, but
yeah, like you finally reach the age where you're able to be like, wait, why do I need to learn this instead of this? Which is like, I still don't know what a 401k is. I would love to know.
Where they teach you, like, you know, it's not worth to buy clothes this expensive when you're this broke. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I remember walking into Virginia, like I have this very vivid memory of my first day of school in 5th grade. And I had this like little leather backpack, just had crayons and a notebook in there. And this girl, Brandy, walked up to me and smelled me, like sniffed me. And like I remember what she was wearing. I remember every little detail, which is so nuts. And then I think yeah.
Sorry, I'm just confused as to why she sniffed you.
Like, I mean, I was in Virginia in a place where people were like, what's it like to speak Spanish? I'm like, it's Portuguese. Or like, you know, like, what's it like to wear shoes? I'm like, there were no vines swinging in Brazil. I think it was just such a clash of culture, you know. And then when I first got to America, I really wanted to be American. And then like by the end of high school, I was kind of like, who am I? Like, you know, and I just recently went back to Brazil and started to like really find myself. Like I had a big breakup, went to Brazil, and then like the soup eventually happened. And I honestly think it's because like I needed to reconnect. To like who
and kind of get back to these
roots that I imagine you kind of maybe put in a box for a little bit, especially in like early middle school when you're like, I'm not weird, I'm just like all of you.
Yeah, I'm American. Like, yeah.
Okay, Jade, I think that is a good place for us to wrap it up, though I do feel like we could chat forever and ever.
I know, it's nice to chat with someone. I mean, we're also isolated right now, so
I know. I hope you continue to thrive in quarantine and beyond. And for everyone who's listening, this has been the Roast of Your Teenage Self podcast.